Good afternoon. You're listening to the Mother's Justice Show on 1150 AM KKNW. I'm your host, Reverend Walden. It's my joy to be on the air. I think we're going to have a great show today. And remember, our Mother's Justice Show is a podcast. I want to thank Virtue's Healing Circle for supporting my Mother's Justice Show. And that is a venture that I'm involved in. Just want to let you know that. But also, the virtue for today is peace. And I just want to talk a little bit about peace. Peace is a consciousness, and everybody wants peace, but you have to have peace in your heart, to have peace in the world, and peace in your life. So let us really think about how we could be more peaceful. I know the world is going whatever, but if you want peace in the world, like we all do, you have to have it in your heart. It is absolutely a virtue of the heart, and then it's manifested in your life, in your work, in your world. And when you walk in the room, people know that you bring in peace because in order to have peace, you got to have love in your heart also. So I see those as twin virtues myself. I see a lot of them as twin virtues, but yeah, let's practice on how we can be just a little bit more peaceful. I know it's a lot of chaos out there, but we don't have to participate. We don't have to participate. We can choose to be the peaceful one. And so let this virtue of peace be part of your life today and this week, because we don't know what's coming this week, but we know that we can have a virtue of peace. There's enough going on in the world. So anyway, I'm a virtues facilitator. I believe that the virtues are part of who we are. They're the characters, they're the spirit that's in us already. And all we have to do is call them forth at any time. So my first guest is not here yet, so I think we'll just I'll text her in a minute and see if she's going to be available. But in the meantime, why don't we just take a little short break here and come back in just a few minutes, and I'll bring my next guest on. You listen to the Mother's Justice Show on 1150 AM KKNW.
The Mother's Justice Show is brought to you by H.G. Walden and the Virtues Healing Circles. Join us for Wisdom and Wellness with Reverend Walden, a monthly virtual and in-person healing circle that focuses on community healing and growth. Learn more at virtueshealing.com. That's virtueshealing.com. Also, be sure to join our healing group on Facebook. Again, visit us at virtueshealing.com today.
Hi, I'm comedian Darren Streblow, and each Sunday at 7 a.m., it's comedy to get your morning started right. The Darren Streblow Comedy Show features family-friendly comedy, along with those little bits of encouragement that we all need to get through the week. You'll enjoy stand-up comedy, plus I visit one-on-one with comedians to find out just what makes them tick. Remember, laughter is the best medicine, and we've got your dose. Sundays at 7 a.m., it's the Darren Streblow Comedy Show on Alternative Talk 1150.
Conversation you won't find on the rest of the dial. Alternative Talk 1150.
You're listening to the Mother's Justice Show on 1150 AM KKNW. I'm your host, Reverend Walden, and I love Ruthie. I was one of those people who discovered her late. I'm always discovering music late. It's like, oh, okay, where's she been all my life? Oh, but she's so cool. So now we're going to bring on our guest who's been waiting for so long, and then we'll bring on our other guest, Miss Kimberly Sopher. I think she's about ready now. Is that right? All right. Hi, Miss Sopher. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing very well. Thank you so much, Reverend Waldman.
Oh, well, thank you so much. And our other guest has zoomed in also. But listen, I just wanted to thank you for being on my show and I know you from another place and you're always involved with education. And so I just wanted you to just talk a little bit about yourself and this illustrious family that you're from. Family of educators. Okay. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Reverend Walden. Thank you. Well, my name is Kimberly Sopher Dunn, and yes, I am a part of the Sopher family by birth and by marriage, my husband's family, the Dunn family. We've both families have been in the Pacific Northwest, I guess, since the 40s, so we've been here for a while. And recently we opened up the Petha Villages. It's a nature-based family home, nature-based center. And we also have an outdoor program at the same time with career exploration and wetland science that we're birthing all at the same time. So that's just a little bit about me.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Because I'm really interested in that piece because of wetlands. I mean, you just bring in science and education and all these wonderful ideas to young people, right?
Yes, yes. So we have the opportunity. My parents, Dr. Maynard G. Sopher and Carolyn Sopher, they purchased some property in Skyway about 17 years ago. Now I am in a child care, so um, he's interrupted me. So this is I couldn't get downstairs a lot fast enough. so so wait a minute. Give me a second. Give me a second. Okay. So my parents, they purchased this property with the hopes of doing some development, not understanding the wetlands laws, and then also how the wetlands can encroach upon buildable land. So about 15 years ago, I said, you know what, you need to let me turn this into a nature-based school, because I kind of understood what was going on if we needed to expand. And it took them some time. During COVID, my father, was the last Sunday in August. We were all online as a family, it's about 20 of us. And I begged him one more time. I said, Daddy, please let me turn this into an early learning nature-based program, where our programs, everything is closing up. Please, please, please let me do it. You know, I'm begging him. And he said, okay, so I'm stewarding the wetlands. We're on 2.14 acres of land and
Oh my
also
goodness.
wetlands. Yep, right in Skyway.
Why the Skyway? Wow,
Right
that's
in
beautiful.
Skyway.
I can't
Yeah.
wait to come and visit you. I mean, I'm excited about this. I mean, to see an African American woman. I know it's a nature-based place over on Bainbridge Island. This is a nature-based program over there for
Yes,
children.
it is a nature-based program over there. And I've had the opportunity of working with Kevin Debs. He was the former, and working with him, he's been supporting me since the time of conception. He's the former executive director, African-American male at Tiny Trees. So he's
Okay,
been with me. We're partnering with North Seattle Community College, Skyway as a whole. They came together and we were able to advocate for about $375,000 for governor appropriation funds. And that was the biggest set of funding that we had,
okay,
to help get us up and moving. King County has invested in us, and Department of Commerce helped us with the child care partnership. So
okay,
we got to working in 2020. And I tell you, within 6 months, we raised almost $600,000. Enterprise Community Partners helped us
okay.
out. So we've done a lot of work, and to get this up and going.
And, you know what? One thing about little people, they're gonna do what little people do. I mean, I mean, it takes a while to get that understanding. And I mean, when you still have children and you go into church and you just want them to be quiet and all this stuff. But I mean, all over the world they do. I mean, at the mall. I mean, at church and daycare. I mean, they are just their own little center of the world.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. So
And they're gonna do their own thing.
Jamaris,
Right.
that young man that came in, he's used to having his eggs and rice, and he ran in, Mama Kim, Mama Kim.
So he likes eggs and rice.
He likes eggs and rice.
Is that any time of day or just a special time of day?
Any time of the
Any
day.
time of day. And maybe his mother wanted eggs and rice.
His mama was there from Louisiana. He likes his
Well,
eggs and rice. That boy
you
has
know what?
us
I've
laughing.
had eggs and rice too, with the scrambled eggs on and rice. I mean,
That's
it's
right.
like, oh yeah, I mean, I'm always going to be a pushover for the little ones. I mean, because they bring gaiety. I mean, as you know, Chikundi is a Santa, and the little children, they come with such enthusiasm. They don't care about the color. They just like the uniform. They just like the outfit, and they and you know, and what else I like about them is that they believe. They believe things are possible.
Yes, they do believe things are
They do
possible.
believe, and sometimes it gets shut down. But what you're doing, I'm sure, is that you're fostering that belief. So
Yeah,
they
we
can,
foster the belief. One of the things I've had the opportunity of just being able to experience, I call it turning black to green, because a lot of times our young people, they want to be outdoors, but our families don't want them outdoors because we have this different kind of weather. And so
right.
we've had the opportunity to seeing them thrive outdoors. And it's not all day. We're not all day yet, but we're taking it slow, and we're fostering different learning activities and fostering curiosity for the outdoor learning. I have a quick story. So I have
Okay,
this
just
family.
please tell this story.
I got this one family and this baby. He's about 2 years old, and his mother took him down to Houston, Texas, grandmother. And she said, she called me from Texas and said, I don't know what you're doing with my grandbaby. All he wants to do is play with the sticks in the hot weather, outdoors, bringing the sticks in the house. I'm at someone else's house, and I was laughing. I laughed. I said, that's what he likes to do. That's what he likes to do. And so, yeah, we're around all these Douglas firs, and he loves
Um,
to gather the sticks and makes it little, whatever he's doing, whatever he's trying to explore. He's not talking as much, but he communicates with his building. So
wow.
we're excited. We're excited about turning black to green and getting us outdoors more.
outdoors, outdoors. And sometimes we have to get past our family's history or coming from the South, what happened to people that went down somewhere and didn't come back. I mean, all of those kinds of things. It's still part of our history, back there. And, and some so and so went down that road and they never came back and stuff. So also, I would never went camping because I grew up camping with a wood stove and a fireplace. And outdoor facility at a while for a while. So, I was born in 46. But I made sure my kids went camping, because I already camped. Now I camp in the Marriott. But but growing up, I had a camping experience every day. I had to cut wood. Okay. So oh, and then when the car be coming, I thought it was one of my friends, I would throw the wood and the axe down and just stand up in the yard, just like I was just like I was just standing up. Oh, so and I know what it's like to make those fires, and that's why I never want a fireplace. I mean, it's like, unless you got something else, because the fireplace is warm in the front and cold behind. So,
Well, what's so important about going back, turning black back to green is, yes, there have been experiences, and we acknowledge all the experiences. My
yes,
mother was raised on the cotton field, and she picked cotton for a living and things of that nature. We acknowledge all of that. But one of the things about being indigenous, as far as what we need to be grounded with the earth, and the society needs us right now. We're in a
yes,
big wave of green economy, and
yes,
we're needed. Our
yes,
children need to be able to think in this way. They don't need any hindrances around their ability to have great thinking skills when it comes to sustainability. So that's
yes,
one of the things that I wanted to be able to connect our young people and also their parents to at the same time.
yes, 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 because I'm a dedicated recyclist now. I mean, and my kids, and sometimes, I'd be washing up the little things, and Tundi comes over. I said, Mom, what you doing? I said, well, I'm just trying to get my recycle. He said, Mom, I've never seen anybody that does the recycling like you, because, I understand it's necessary. But going back to being outside, when my kids was growing up in the winter, I always sent them down to a volunteer park. I mean, nobody could stay in the house all day. I mean, because it was winter, you still had to go outside. I mean, sometimes they would take a little tin foil and make the little boats,
Yeah.
They would, but all times, sometimes I lost a shoe. Sometimes somebody came back without a shoe. I mean, but it's just, at least it got them outside,
Yes,
because
yes.
you're not going to watch television all went along in my house. I mean, that's not happening. You're going to have to go outside and do something. That's why I'm excited by your program, because you should talk to Chickeny sometime about being out.
Yeah, yeah, he's always outdoors walking and everything. We
Oh,
see him walking all the time
oh
outdoors.
yeah. So So I'm just excited about this because I see your excitement, and I've worked with you in another environment, and I know you love the children.
I do love.
You do love the children, and you bring enthusiasm,
Thank you so much.
and I think you have a sense of excellence about what you do.
Thank
And so I'm just excited to come, and then I know eventually I'll have you on again to be able to talk about it again because this is new for me. I mean, in Seattle, and then and also a person of our ethnicity who's doing this. I call that stuff, one of the descendants of the stolen ones because we were stolen. We didn't bring our stuff to North America, but just to think about what you're doing,
Yes. Well, it's
and
in our blood. We can do it.
yeah, we can. Well, I
Yes, we
mean, we used to
can.
grow our own food in the South. My
Yes. Yes.
we had a garden. I mean, my grandma, we grew everything in Florida that grew in our yard almost. We even had sugar cane.
That's, the children here, we did some starts and we messed up on a couple of them, but the ones that have thrived for us are the squash and the beans. They have thrived for our
Okay.
starters. We just transplanted them to the garden, and we're having fun. We're not 100%. I like being at 50% because that means I have room to grow.
Oh
I
yeah.
need to keep growing. So we're having fun.
Well, I'm glad that you were able to get financing and then to be able to raise money because it's a worthy idea. Because we raise the children this way, you come from a Bible a family, and they say raise them up in the way that they should go. And one thing we know, you're going to return back to that raising. And what has happened to a lot of our young people? They don't have nothing to return to.
That's right.
You got to give them something to return to even
That
when
is,
they go out into the world, you know?
they have to have space and place. And one of the things I just really want to honor my mother and father because I
Yes,
know that they made a they I know their budget was really tight when they did this purchase. And they already have the church, but they had a vision. And I just want to honor my Father's Day, Dr. Maynard G. Sopher, and my mother, Carolyn Sopher, for just allowing Black folks to have this land. And when the young people and the families come, and they can come on Black land and stewardship, it becomes theirs. And they can
right.
see that. They have an example in front of them that I can do this as well. It will always be etched in their minds. Black,
Yes,
brown, doesn't matter. Families need families at this time. We need each other
we
like never
do.
before.
We- and I was talking to a professor the other day, piggybacking on what you just said. And I said, this is the longest we've been in America without living around our people.
Mm,
And it is hard, I think our children souls are enraged because they don't get to see their people every day. Or they
that's
go to school every day and not have teachers who look like them. But this is the longest in our
yeah.
whole sojourn in America that we have not lived around our people.
That's deep.
It is
Oh,
deep, but when you
ooh,
think about it, see, I mean, because we always had that community. It might not have been
mm.
much, but it was a place to gather. The church might have been built out of them sticks that your little guys is.
Yeah, the churches were definitely in the backwoods with the potbelly stoves. Yes, they were built out the sticks. They were. Yes,
Yeah,
they were.
but look, we were together.
But we were
We were
together.
together. And then if you just think about that and ponder what it must be like for us not to be around our people every day. I mean, and the central area is gone, and so part, and so all the things that we thought was familiar, it's gone, and so
Hmm.
you're selling the memory. You have architectural trauma because some of the places that you knew growing up, it's gone. I coined that word. It's called architectural trauma when your
Yes,
sense of place is gone.
yes.
And a professor at the University of Washington, he concurred with me. He said, we have a map in our head of land and the
Hmm.
places that we've gone. And
Hmm.
it does disrupt our soul
Yes,
when
I
it's
was
not.
thinking about being soulless when you
That's right.
stated.
That's right. And I mean, but we know, but nobody's ever done the research on it. But the
Hmm.
escalation of violence and all of this stuff is like, we miss living in community. And oh, we had problems. We're not going to sugarcoat it and say it was glorious. But what we had was people who looked like us, and could understand our journey on some levels. And so this is what you're building. You just building another community for people to gather at. See?
Just another community for people to gather. We're really excited for Reverend Harriett Walden, to come to our space and have the healing circles. We're very, very much so excited about it.
Yes.
I'm actually looking at a grant right now and trying to figure out how we can put it together real quick and make it do what it do. So,
well, you know what? I appreciate anything you do, because you know what? One thing about doing work in the world, you have to get people out of their head into their heart to change the world. And I'm recognizing that. If you're still in your head, you won't change the world. It has to have a conversion of the heart.
That's it.
When you have a conversion of the heart, then you can be the one to get the opening in the door, because you're going to bring love in the room. Love's got to be in the room. If love is not in the room, it's not going to work.
That's right.
I spent a lot of time out here doing this other stuff, and some levels, these systems are going backwards. They're not coming forward. They're retrenching backwards with what's happening in America. So it is the heart that we have to do the work in, and then to be with the children. So good, because they're already fresh in them. They just come from the Creator.
I know there's no, I know I'm church, but there's no gall in them. They're pure.
That's right.
There's nothing. I don't care. They talk about drug babies. They are pure.
That's right.
Pure, straight from the Creator.
That's
and
right.
We have to be able to understand the time that we're in, and that we are powerful, that we can help transform the world.
That's right. That's right.
I can say anything, especially to Black women at this time.
Yes.
If you have the idea to do it, just do it.
That's right.
Stop being battered by systems that oppress you.
Right.
Go ahead and do it. Call me. I will help you find some money. I promise you I will. I'm very serious. Inbox me on Facebook. I believe that you are made for this time and this moment, and to push it out.
That's right.
So we can bring love back.
Bring love back. You know that? Because really, we've known no safety since we got stolen. And then you think about that. Look how long ago. Last time we knew safety was before we got here, before we were in the dungeons or on those ships, and we wasn't even safe at the churches, and so at the grocery store. So that's this attitude about where's safety for us. Again, safety is hard. It's it's in the heart. It's love, but also it could be a physical structure. It could be a wetlands. I mean, it could be all of that to give safety, because for a fact, if a baby is falling, they start crying because they don't feel safe. They get startled, and then they need to have safety again. And I see this as safety for the children and also for a better world. And I'm just so happy to have you on Mother's Justice Show, because this is justice in another way. Really and truly, justice is giving people what they earn, but mercy is giving them more. So really, we know what justice sometimes look like, but mercy gives us more. And I see what you're doing is just embodying all the virtues. It really is. It really is. And bringing a new day, a new way for being in the community. And I'll be out to see you soon.
Thank you so much, Reverend Walden. On behalf of the Dunn family, my husband as well, Bishop-elect Scipio Dunn.
I love Scipio.
We're grateful on behalf of him as well. God bless you.
God bless you.
Have a great one.
Okay, thank you. And I want to thank you for being my guest on Mother's Justice Show, and we'll have you on again. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you. You've been listening to the Mother's Justice Show on 1150 AM KKNW. It's your host, Reverend Walden. We'll be right back. Now bring on my next guest, another illustrious woman, African-American woman. Thank you so much.
The Mother's Justice Show is brought to you by H.G. Walden and the Virtues Healing Circles. Join us for Wisdom and Wellness with Reverend Walden, a monthly virtual and in-person healing circle that focuses on community healing and growth. Learn more at virtueshealing.com. That's virtueshealing.com. Also, be sure to join our healing group on Facebook. Again, visit us at virtueshealing.com today.
An alternative to everything else on your radio dial. Alternative Talk 1150.
Good afternoon. I am singing and praying with my mind stayed on free. Mother's Justice Show, and welcome back to our show. I remember we're on the podcast, and this also after the show you can listen to us. And we're being brought to you by Virtues Healing Circle. And I want to bring my next guest on. She's an illustrious woman. I had a famous, and their mother was too. I want to bring on Miss Rita Green, and we're going to spend this time together talking about her mother and Juneteenth. Welcome, Miss Green.
Hi, how are you?
I'm wonderful. You were laughing about me camping out at the Marriott. I'm sure your mother used to camp out some places too. When I first met your mother years ago, she talked about Juneteenth. And I said, well, I grew up in Florida. I don't know nothing about Juneteenth. Well, you ought to know. I said, well, I grew up in Florida. So, yes, and you're going to tell us about your mother and Juneteenth, because she was the first person. I'll let you tell your story.
Yeah.
Okay.
My mom, she was actually from Temple, Texas, which is in the central region of Texas, kind of like in the middle of everywhere. It's like 150 miles to Houston.
Oh my God.
Or Dallas. So it's kind of very located.
Remote.
Right.
Yeah, right in the middle of that.
Not too far from Waco, but most people have never heard of Temple.
Oh, I know where Waco is.
Yeah.
I went to a conference there one time. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, very small country town. But so coming from there, by way of they moved to Oregon. So her family moved to Oregon. Then she met my dad, and he got a job at Boeing. So that's how they came to Washington.
Okay.
So that's that. And then with Juneteenth, that was a big thing in Texas because, as you know, Lincoln freed the slaves January 1863, but folks in Texas weren't made aware of it until 1865. So it's 2 years later.
2 years, yeah.
On June 19th. So that was 2 years that slaves continued to work as slaves when they really were supposed to have been free. So
2 years and 6 months.
right, to be exact. Right. So for her, it was, one, all Black people need to know about it. And, being part of the community, and particularly the Black community, and trying to uplift the Black community was very important to my mom. And that's why she brought Juneteenth here to Seattle. I think like in 1983 was the first Juneteenth celebration she had, somewhere around then, and really trying to educate people on what Juneteenth was and why we needed to remember it and how we needed to do positive things out of it, right? Not just take it now that it's a day off. I wish she was here to see that it's now a holiday, right? Because it became a holiday after her death, and it would have been really nice for her to have seen that. But
also, your mother was a courageous woman. I mean, just give a little, she was really courageous and the things that she did. She was an entrepreneur.
Yep, very much so. Well, I always used to tease her and say, you're so mean. You can't work for nobody because everything got to be your way. So
she's a Capricorn, and I understand that.
Right.
We were both Cappies together.
Right. So, but and then that, she wanted to be, own her own, and she wanted Black people to own her own because that's how she felt we would build generational wealth. Right. It's by owning your own and building. When, let's see, I think she bought it like in 1966 or 68, somewhere. On Madison? Yes.
Oh my goodness. She bought it when real estate was cheap, but it might not have been cheap to people, but it's cheap compared to today, isn't it?
Right, correct. But the thing is, the story for that is, during those times, being a Black woman, and she was divorced, so being a single Black woman, she wasn't allowed to buy the property.
Right.
And so she, I think, was turned down 30 times before finally she convinced a loan officer to just put C on the paperwork. So the title on the property actually just says C. Williams. So that way they didn't know if she was a man or a woman.
Wow. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah. So that was the only way she was able to get the property.
Wow.
And because of not telling them that she was a female, she held on to it for all these years. We still have it. It's still open. That's one of the things that I promised her, that I wouldn't sell it, as long as I'm alive. But um, I can't promise after I'm gone. So,
Well, what I'm learning is that you can put it in trust. If you put it in a trust, then it can't be sold.
right, that's a good thing.
Well, yeah, because I was talking to some people down in Mississippi, because I know Chickendee is doing the Black Legacy home ownership thing, and I guess they read it in the in the Times, and they want some help down there because they're being run off the land by by European Americans, and so I was talking to another lady that was on my show from Mississippi, and she was saying that they could put it in a trust. And and that type of thing. So I'm saying I'm learning more and more on how to preserve the property. But one of the things that I loved about your mother, and true transparency, we were friends. Everybody that's on my show today has been
right.
related to me some kind of way. And she did my hair for a while, because she was a wonderful beautician.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, I think she was one of the first, I mean, from my understanding, to have a big shop here in Seattle, that way, doing hair. And so she was one of my beauticians that I've had. I came to Seattle in '75, so I'm a newcomer compared to other people. And we had a dedicated Black community then. As I was mentioning to my other guests, this is the longest we've lived in America that we didn't live together, that we weren't with one another. See, so I think that is really kind of shaped who we are right now and how we move in the world. But Juneteenth, I mean, I even volunteered for Juneteenth celebration with your mom. Yeah, and she had a parade. I mean, now it's a big celebration. One thing about it, she was a visionary.
Yes.
And visionaries sometimes they don't live in the body to actually see the vision become fruition. But we know in the spirit world, as an ancestor, they get to see. They are still here with us. They just beyond view. The energy, her energy is still here, and so that energy is still guiding us, and that type of thing. And well, I mean, your mother was not afraid
of anything.
Anything. She took on the PI. I mean,
5'1.5".
Oh, that's right. Well, she's shorter than me. I'm 5'2.5". Haven't grown since I was in the 9th grade. So
5'1.5", but she was tall.
And then that's right. But she wrote a book. She wrote a little pen. Yeah.
She wrote like 3 books.
Okay. And I know it was one about the history of the Central area.
There's a part 1 and 2 on that.
Okay. Yeah. And she just she had pardon people from the University of Washington was helping her in a lot of things that she was doing. I mean,
she opened the chamber, so don't get the Central Area Chamber of Commerce.
That's right.
And her thing for that was twofold, right? So one was to help small Black businesses, right? To help them, give them the resources and tools that they need to open, to stay afloat.
Right.
And then the other part, I don't know, let's see, you said you moved here in '75. I'm not sure when she had it, but they used to have the neighborhood youth pride program, and they used to hire the Black kids in the neighborhood to go and clean different areas and pay them, right? So that the Black kids could actually have money growing up. And so they used to do that every, I think it started like every summer from like June to school started, they would hire them and take them out throughout the city, throughout the Central area.
Right. And she rented all kinds of service because she rented service to Bonnie Wilson. Also, I mean, the funeral home for people, after they had deceased women to get their hair done. And but she was just a powerhouse.
Yeah,
and
Cancer Center, she had the Cancer Care Alliance, and so she provided the wigs and stuff for cancer patients.
Yes. I mean, she was an enterprising lady, and just to think with her enterprisingness, I mean, she is the reason. I mean, now everybody's doing Juneteenth because it's a paid holiday, and now they want to have products. And I guess I said if anybody bring in purses in America from China trying to sell Juneteenth, I'd say people ought to make sure they don't buy them. You need to see where any products are coming from, because really you have to look at the products, and if these products is coming from another country, you can believe me that African Americans' hands didn't make it. If it's not coming from Jamaica or the African continent, you're not by it, because really and truly, it is something that we need to make sure that it just don't go, like Martin Luther King's holiday is. I mean, because this is specifically absolutely about freedom, about us about us getting free. And now I hear some other places now people are saying, well, they didn't get freedom till later on either. But the one that we know is a holiday is Juneteenth.
Right.
That's a holiday. It's a paid holiday off in America, whether you like African Americans or not. You can think this one to slavery.
Right.
This holiday is brought to you as a complimentary of slavery. Right.
And a small piece to pay, right? Because we really still need to get our reparations.
Well, that's right, because going through the 240 years of seasoning to make it, I mean, it took a lot to so-called make a slave out of the mighty African.
That's
and
right.
one thing about women, and like Ms. Dunn was on talking about just a few of the ingenuity of women, and specifically, I'm just talking about Black women right now, because that's my lived experience. They just come up with some stuff, and I mean, some of these people could remember when they were just making pound cakes in their home, and then people coming by with no license, nothing from the health department. They just people just come in. Oh yeah, you got one of them pound cakes. And Big Mama always had one,
Right.
Big Mama always had a pound cake. And then you could depend on all of that, for a repass, and all of this stuff. And so it's just part of who we are. And I don't care how much we get pressed down, that ingenuity sometimes it still comes out. And that's what I think about your mother. And of course, we, Reverend Patricia Valentine had planned a day for us to be honored. Your mom and I call us with the courageous women, and she passed away before that happened. But we still did the event, and you were there.
Right.
And it's something about it. I mean, sometimes I watch young Black women and I hear them, and now they're doing all these pop-ups.
Right.
Pop-ups are in style. And I guess a lot of them was yesterday. And the other thing going along with Juneteenth now is the Black rodeo. I mean, people went down to Portland for the Black rodeo, and they have a African American teen Black rodeo queen. So she was born from over in Eastern Washington.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Converge Media, they did a video on her.
Okay.
And it's like she's the only one. And I guess if you're from Oklahoma and those places, I guess they've always had that going on. But it's new out here. And a lot of people was down there this weekend when they were talking about this Juneteenth. And hey, guess what? They were wearing them cowboy hats better than John Wayne ever wore them. And all of this is Juneteenth. And the word cowboy came from us.
Right.
Because they were called cowboys, and the other guys they were called they were cow hands, the white guys, the young white guys, they were called cow hands, but the Black people were called cowboy, and that's And so it all goes together, and it's another way of showing us. And your mother took the lead on that. I can see her now; she's just coming in there. Well, I want to be recognized. Right. I want to be recognized, okay? She's going to insist on being recognized. Well, she's at the city council and they've already cut off the time for public comment. She was determined to be recognized.
Would not take no.
Would not take no. And she go.
Yeah.
What was her favorite food that you liked that she cooked?
Oh, so her peach cobbler.
Okay.
Pineapple upside down cake.
Oh wow.
Her dressing and greens. Those are probably like my favorite dishes.
Oh wow.
And
Wow.
chitlins, believe it or not,
Oh yeah.
the chitlins, do like
Well,
chitlins.
yeah, some people grew up eating. My
Yeah.
grandmother just didn't cook them, and so I never cooked them in my life. And my former
Mm.
husband, bless his heart, he's in spirit now. He always had to go someplace else and get them because I didn't know how to cook them. So yeah, so but one thing about it, it kept our people going.
Yeah.
And it was not the best, but that's what's so good about us, and that's what your mother brought up, is that you take what you got and make
And
something
make it
out
way
of it.
with it. That's right.
You know,
That
make
one of the
make
things she would say that all the time.
exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
It might not it might not be perfect
Mm-hmm.
in the world's eye,
Right.
but if it nourishes you to get to the next level of your development, and that's what she was always about, trying to help people get to the next level of their
Yep.
development. She wanted you to be educated.
Right. And she wanted you to be better. And let me see if I have this thing, because there's a quote that I think fits her so well.
No, yeah.
It's not-
But betterment, it was all about betterment, Oh, and
Yeah.
also she had a clothing line. Don't forget those church dresses.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yes, and yeah, and the sequins and all that.
Oh yeah, and the hats
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah, and she loved her hats, and she made a lot of hats. That she was very, very artistic,
Yes.
very, very
Hmm.
artistic.
Now, was she an only child?
No, she was the second oldest, so there were six,
Okay.
five, five girls and one boy.
Oh, five girls and one boy. I get that boy was so
Yeah.
spoiled he didn't know what to do.
Mhm. Yeah, my uncle is. He was the second youngest, and
Oh, being the second youngest and the only boy. He
yeah,
did, he got a, did you find the quote?
yeah, I did. I did.
Okay, you want to
So,
read
and
it?
this is one of the things that I really feel represents my mom. And it's a leader takes people where they want to go, but a great leader takes people where they don't necessarily want to go, but ought to be.
Oh
And
yeah,
that is the thing I feel like my mom always pushed people to do better, right?
to do
And
better.
teach you don't have to be afraid, and you can do this. Anything is possible.
Oh yeah, anything is possible, and that is true. That is true. That is true. And who would have believed that Juneteenth would be a holiday?
Right? Right.
Who would have believed that? If somebody had told us that 30 years ago, nobody would believe that.
Right.
And it's a holiday that can't be taken away. I mean, it's not a state's holiday; it's a
Mhm.
federal holiday.
Right.
A federal
Mhm.
holiday, and it honors. It reinforces the fact that we're here and we've been here, and all the people who want to write history will rewrite history. And the Texas, they got these textbooks now that say we came on a cruise ship by our own choice, but
Right.
but
Crazy.
this negates that.
It's crazy.
Juneteenth, it negates
Right.
that no, we didn't come over on a cruise ship.
Right. At least not willingly anyway.
No.
Yeah,
No,
and
but
I've made two trips to Ghana, and it's nothing nice.
right,
I mean,
right.
where the slaves were kept was nothing nice.
No, no. Well, the last time we knew freedom and safety was before we got caught. Because
Mhm.
our ancestors, that mother, the first mother who gave birth to you and to me, they never knew safety again.
No.
I mean, just like we continue to work in a society is unjust. And through all of
Yes.
that, and that's what mother stood just like with people at the University of Washington. She was comfortable with the people who had the PhDs
Mhm. Mhm.
and the
Mhm.
people who didn't have any degrees.
That's right.
That's
That's
right.
right.
That's right. And that's a level of comfort that we have to have in America, because
Very
someone is
much so.
always trying to make us feel that we're not good enough.
Right.
You
And
know,
you can learn from anyone, and everyone has something to teach, no
that's right.
matter who you are and what
That's
you
right. That's right. That's right.
are.
That's right.
That's
And I know that now you're with the African Land Trust and that. So what do you do there? I mean, Kimberly Dunn was talking about this project and all the acres that her parents bought, that
true.
vision they had all those years ago, and she's
Hmm.
doing something with it. So we got a few minutes left. So you want to talk about what you're doing?
Yeah, well, so I am the chief of staff at Africatown Community Land Trust. And I tell you, I came here to help, thought I would only be here just to help out, get things going. because the just ingrained in me is the Black community, right? Wanting to
Right.
help the Black community
Right.
prosper. And so I wanted to come here to help. And like I said, I thought I'd be here a year, and I've been here almost 3 years now. But we're doing really good work in terms of we're running a men's shelter that's focused on Black men, because
Right.
Black men have the highest rate of homelessness.
That's right.
And also, they have the highest rate of getting kicked out of shelters.
Right.
So wanting to make sure that there's a program that was more centered and focused on what Black men need. Right. Meaning we accept everyone, but the focus is Black men.
Right.
And then with WGC, which is the William Gross Center, we have a number of different computer programs for young people. We have a partnership with Avila at the University of Washington, where they have students that come in and teach. And that's all to say, well, we want our young people to be able to get out of high school and get these tech jobs as well.
Right.
So we have to equip them with those skills for that. And then there's some entrepreneurship classes that are also available at our WGC Center. And then we're opening Africatown Plaza on 23rd in spring. It should be opening sometime in July.
Wow.
So that's going to be affordable. It's 126 unit affordable housing. So there's studios, 1, 2, and there's even a few 3 bedrooms.
Three bedrooms. Wow. And
Right.
then you have
Most people aren't building, multiple rooms because it's not enough money. But if you don't build multiple bedrooms, then that's saying you don't want families in the
That's
city.
right. Well, and right, they don't want families almost in Seattle anymore. Any city that has more animals, more dogs than they have children is a dying city. So yes. So yeah, wow. This is wonderful. I mean, and then there's the there's the unit there's the building on 24th and Union that you have.
Yeah. Oh, the
Liberty Bank.
Liberty Bank building. Yes.
That's right. Liberty Bank building. Yes. And it's a beautiful building.
Yeah.
Yes, a beautiful building. And well, I tell you, you all are doing great work. And this is we started week out with positive and strong women, that's African American women that's not afraid to be Black.
No.
Yeah, so yes, and that's what's necessary in a world that tells you that there's something wrong with us. Constantly, if you put in Black man now and Google thugs come up and say, how did we get to be the thugs of the millennium?
Right.
So
and Black women, we are the highest educated group of people.
That's right.
And so we know that we are smart and that we're better and that we can do. We just have to believe in ourselves.
Well, you know what, and I'm chronicling everything that made America great that they talk about. But if it wasn't for Katherine Johnson, there would be no space program. And she did the calculation in her head, not on the computer.
Right.
So that brilliance right there, was done in her head. And so I'm just really happy to, my life is so rich about the people that I've known. Since I've been in Seattle, and your mother is one of those people who made my life rich. Challenge me every time I see a copy. Well, I say I don't know about. Well, you ought to know. You ought to know. You ought to know about Juneteenth. Why don't you know something about Juneteenth? Well, I grew up in Florida. How would I know? Like I never had shrimp and grits till I called my stepmother. She's from Alabama. She said, "Yeah, I cook shrimp and grits all the time." I said, "I had no idea. We could hush puppies and fish, but not that." So anyway, my life is so much richer by knowing your mother, and I could call her a friend.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Thank you. And thank you for being on my show. I'll have you back again, okay?
Okay, thank you so much for having me.
So you're welcome.
Bye-bye.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. You listen to the Mother's Justice Show on 1150 AM KKNW. I'm your host, Reverend Walden, and we'll be back next week. Remember to check out our podcast. And this is brought to you by the Virtues Healing Circle. Thank you so much.